Hello, welcome back friends to the part 19 of this tutorial series, and this is the final part wherein we will be creating a login form and we will implement the login functionality. As you can see, I have created a new page here to speed up things, and I've named it login.page, right? And in my HTML I have inserted some pre-built markup. You can download this markup from a GitHub repo, or you can visit this site here. That's bootsnip.com. It has various snippets, so I simply copied this snippet, which looks like this. It's a pretty simple bootstrap form, okay, and in my app it will look like this. So I've removed the default fields that this form has here, like these two input fields, and I replaced this with my ionic input so that I can get this validation out of the box and this floating label kind of thing. Okay, so you will get this final markup in my GitHub repo that I will share in my description of the video. Also, I have disabled the button. I have binded the disabled property to the login form .invalid or login form .pending, and this login form is a template variable which references my form tag here. Okay, and this is equals to ng form. So ng form is the template driven approach. Okay, so you need to assign the template variable to ng form, and also you need to type ng model in your inputs or form controls, and make sure you give every input a name. Okay, this will be the attribute that will be sent to the value field of this ng form. So now after doing this, I need to bind my ng submit event here to a method. Let me name it login, and I'll pass the login form here as a parameter. Okay, so let's create this method, and I need to inject a couple of services. First of all, I'll inject the auth service, then I'll inject the loading controller. We'll see that if we need the loading controller here or not, because if I remember correctly, we have used it in our auth service. Right, so we'll use route, activated route, and let's check the router also in case we need that. Right, I'll define a few variables. Permanently return URL, type string. Next will be my auth state variable of type boolean. Set my ng on init. I'll go to auth service dot auth state observable. I'll subscribe, and will give me a state, either true or false, and I'll assign this dot auth state to the state I receive. If this dot auth state is correct, I'll navigate the user to this dot return URL. Also, I need to get the return URL, and that will be this dot return URL equals to this dot route dot snapshot dot query params dot return URL or null. So if this dot return URL is not equals to null, then do this, else send the user to the home page. That's this way. Simple enough. And my login method, I will reach out to auth service.login. This takes a username and password. So I'll first restructure my login form here. Maybe email and password. These are the two names that I've chosen in my HTML, if you remember. Email and password. Okay. So this will be email, comma, password. That's it. Before doing that, I'm going to check if my login form if that's invalid. Ideally it will not reach here, but if any person tries to modify the code or using the developer tools and manages to hit the submit button, bring the form invalid, so it will still not do anything. Okay, if that is not the case, else do this, and this will return a promise. So I'll use a 10 block here and do nothing. So let's see if this works or not, and if this works, then I should see a new key here with the name data and user, and two new keys basically. So I'll first use a wrong credential here. Okay, and hit sign in. Should give me bad username or password. Perfect. I don't see any information here. But now if I use test and the password is 123456, and this is inbuilt in Ionic, this eye icon to reveal or hide the password. Okay, click sign in. Now since you don't have written URL, it will send you to the default home page. Okay, and if you refresh the local storage now, or the Ionic storage now, you will have two new keys here with values. So you have the token information and you have the user information. Now if you go to my account, it's empty, don't have any products. Okay, so this is how it works. Now if you want to restrict the checkout, let's say you want to restrict the checkout for only logged in users, so what we can do, we can go to our guards, create a new guard here. So give it a sec. I'll create a new guard. Let's name it checkout guard. Skip this true. This will be a can activate guard. Okay, done. Let's check this out. So it implements the can activate interface, and you need to return either true, false, or observable of boolean, or promise of boolean, or boolean. So what we will do, we will first go here in our constructor, inject the auth service, and this has this auth service dot current auth state. Okay, so this has the current auth state variable. So if this the current auth state is there, return true, else redirect. We'll also use the redirect method here. So for that we need the router, private router. So I will redirect the user to the login URL, that's /login, and we'll also send the return URL here. Okay, return URL type state.url. Oops, we have a state variable here defined that is of type router state snapshot. This contains our current URL. So state.url. And to wrap this in query params actually. Okay, and this will have a then block in the end. So once that is done, I need to go to my app routing module where I have the checkout route, and just after the load children call, I will use can activate, and it takes an array of cards. So I have checkout card here. Simple. Okay, save the changes, and in my browser I'm gonna remove these two elements, user and the card data. So my user is not authenticated. Also, I can quickly go here, quickly go to my site menu, right? It's my tab 1 or tabs.html. I have this logout method here. It's doing nothing as of now, so I'll go to my inject the auth service here in my tabs.page.ts file and simply call the logout function. Okay. Simple. Save changes, go back to the app, let it reload. Now I can add product to the cart, add product, view cart. If I hit checkout, you see that right now I'm not logged in. Okay, so I'm sent back to the login page, and you see there is return URL param or parameter here, which is pointing to my checkout URL. So as soon as I authenticate myself, I'm sent back to the return URL. Perfect. Now if you go back to the shop page, okay, and now I have the data here, right? If I refresh the page or the app, okay, I still have the data here. I have the token as well. So you can go to the cart, go to checkout, and it takes me to the checkout page directly because I am already authenticated. So the guard kicks in, it checks for the authentication state, it finds the user is authenticated, it allows me to go to the checkout page. Simple as that. This is absolutely optional. You may or may not want to restrict the user to checkout without being authenticated, but this is how I like my app to behave. Okay. And one small thing, that right now it's not creating the account order based on the currently logged in user. For that we need to go to the service, which is product service, and no, not product service. Let's check here, should be cart service. Okay, we have a method called at checkout somewhere, checkout create on here. Okay, so here I should be sending some data, right? Order data is passed from here. That's in my checkout page.ts. okay, and here if you see that I'm passing 0, which is not the case. So now what I will do, I'll also create a constant here and make it async const user equals to I should have the storage service here. Cool. So this dot storage dot get user. I'll use the await keyword here. Now if user dot this will be of type customer if I'm not wrong. Custom model. User ID is greater than 0. Or we'll simply use this condition here directly using a tertiary operator. I'll show that how you can use tertiary operators here to do an if else. So what we will do here, we'll say user.id. Okay, we have already fetched the user here, so we'll put a condition here directly and say whether the user.id is greater than 0 or not. If it is greater than 0, then use user.id, else put else with you denote an else statement with a colon. Okay, else use this. Similarly, we will copy this statement or condition and we'll put it here. Okay, save the changes. Now go back to the app. So give some time. So app has loaded and it has checked the status. The guard has kicked in. So I'm now back to the checkout page, and my user has got an ID of very fresh ID of 2, which is greater than 0. So I should get the order with this user. Now if I just fill details test account test at gmail.com, phone number, anything you want, billing address, test address, city Delhi, state maybe Delhi, of course, postcode is anything you want. Save, minimize the address fields here. The main option should be cash on delivery, same as shipping should be same as mailing address, and hit checkout. In the meantime, let me log into my backend here and still placing the order. I'll use the credentials here. Okay, order has been placed. Order number is 2291. Go to home. My cart has been emptied as expected and verified from here. And if we go to my WooCommerce orders page, should see the new order there, test account, and if I open it, it should be listed under the test account or test user. Okay, but now somehow it was not put under the test account, but it was placed under the guest account. You can debug this statement here. Okay, and or you can simply create a new variable here, store the user ID there, and it should work. So this works, trust me, it works absolutely fine without any issues. And with this I would like to end this tutorial series. There are a lot of items which you can create. You can create this my account page, you can display your list of orders that you placed, you can create a form under my account and display the account details like username, first name, last name, and you should also be able to change their details from there. You can implement those functionalities. So please try that on your own. If you are stuck somewhere, where you can always put a comment in the video description. I will reply back with the solution to the best of my knowledge, right? And with that, I'm gonna end this series now, right? So let's fix it. This should be this, like this, okay, because we are receiving an array, so it should be like this. And here as well. I missed this portion. Alright, this should fix the issue with your user account. I can show that to you quickly if you want. I have a user here. I'll order this, add to cart, view cart, checkout, test, gmail.com. Right, test. And place the order. Give it a sec, and once this is done, I will end the video. I'll see you in the next series that I might build pretty soon. Right? So let me know in the comments what would you like to see with respect to Angular, Node.js, and MySQL. You see, it's test. It's mapped to the test account now. So I missed this small thing. So it's an array, and there's only one item in the array. So I'm just referencing that one item, the first item. That's it. So with that, guys, please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share my channel with your friends. And I will be waiting to see your comments in the comment sections below. And till then, take care and have a wonderful day ahead. Bye bye.